Hello, this is Ryan with Website Islands. Welcome WBA team. This is going to be a short video introduction into your website. I'm not going to go over everything about your website. I have a lot of Joomla tutorials already on my website, websiteislands.com, and more than likely you'd probably have me update your site when you need me to update it anyway. This tutorial is going to go over your banner management software, your chat software, and your classified listings and featured classifieds software that you have on your site. The first thing I'd like to get into is your chat software. Your chat software has two different sections to it. The one would be this chat room. So anyone that's on your site can whether they're a guest or a registered user, could chat on here and just post a message with the general room. So if you wanted to, let's say, have a bunch of new members, or all of the WBA team members meet here at a specific date or time, they could all have a group chat here. There's upgrades if you wanted like video or voice. And it's a lot more expensive to add those features in, and you might need additional server requirements. But for basic chat functionality, this is great. You can hide this window when you're done using it. Now, for user to user, like instant messaging, you have a list of all the users that are online, and so you can pretty much see who's online. And right now there's nobody else online. If there were another person online, you could chat with them. It's me, and just chat back and forth. So you can, if anyone's registered, or even if they're a guest, you can always come here and see who's on your who's online. And say you have a visitor or something and you want to contact them, you can always do that through there. Okay. The next thing I'm going to get into is your banner management software. The second software that you have on your site is your banner management software called Social Ads. And you can see here there's a 728 by 90 pixel image, a 300 by 250 pixel image. These are both very popular sizes, and they're in excellent locations. Very popular, effective locations and sizes, so you can charge more money for these two locations. Once we add the sponsor info here, this third image will more than likely be below the fold. And what I mean is you're probably going to have to scroll down a little bit to see it. And generally those ads are not quite as effective. They get less clicks, and less people see them. So you'd probably charge less money for that ad. Also, it's smaller, and I created a smaller ad here to give your users, based on their budget, a little bit of variety. Some users might have a smaller budget or just want to put a small ad in there, so that might be best for them. There's also 5 200 pixels by 200 pixel ads at the bottom of your site, and those will not be seen as often. You wouldn't charge as much money for those, for advertising in those locations either, as you would the more prominent locations here and here. But it does give you, for people that are on a budget, and they will be seen. So the other thing to note is, as you refresh the page, different ads will show up. You see so the more people you have advertising, it'll just randomly display their ads. Since you're charging based on clicks or impressions, it doesn't matter if they show up every time or not. You could have literally hundreds of advertisers and hundreds of different images rotating through here. If you have a lot of traffic, everyone will still get lots of visibility, and they'll only be paying for what they actually purchased. So if they purchase 1,000 impressions or 100 clicks, they'll still get that. So no one's being cheated out of that. It would be a lot more difficult to block out these zones to one specific advertiser and schedule those zone sales. Because you're selling based on clicks or impressions, you can literally stack as many advertisers on top of each other without any conflicts, or without anyone getting angry because they were scheduled for that time, or being disappointed that they weren't able to get the time that they wanted. Let's dig right in, and if I were a new advertiser and I saw these advertisements, I could create my own ad. Test. Let me just create a new username. Test 10. User email test 10 at websiteislands.com. Test 10 at websiteislands.com. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is click next. And that's going to do a quick registration. I might not have as many rights or privileges as official WBA team members, but I am registered in the system now, and I can come back later and manage my advertising campaigns on your website. So it's asking me to design my ad. So there's only one type, media. I didn't allow like text or something because we want your site to look beautiful, and everyone should upload a good-looking image if they want to advertise on your site, and it'll be displayed right next to the rest of your content. So I can choose which location: the top leaderboard, the right side bottom, the bottom, or the right side top, the 300 by 250 pixel one. This is the most popular one, the 728 by 90 pixel images, and it's right at the top, so I'm going to get the most traffic there. Now I can enter in my website. When someone clicks on the ad, it's going to come to my website, www.websiteislands.com, and the title, this is just for my own reference when I come back. If I have a lot of different ads, I can just put like ad 1, so I know that that's my first ad. Now I'm going to browse my computer and find the file. Okay, so I just picked a generic one. They're showing me how the ad will look here. It's actually longer than that, but it just doesn't fit on the page. But I can even see that before I click continue, I can see how the ad's going to look, and I can see that it supports PNG, JPEG, GIF, SWF, FLV, and MP4. So you can literally have Flash, actual video, or just regular images, or GIF images, moving images, or Flash files. So all types of ads are supported. We can disallow some of these if we didn't want them on your site. Sometimes too much motion can be distracting. However, they're very popular to put motion, and it makes the ads more effective, so I'd allow it unless it becomes a problem. Okay, so when they click continue, you can see the pricing. I've only left the option here per impression. We could charge per click, which then people know exactly how much they're paying per click. But per impression is the most popular way of selling these, and you can really sell it anywhere from for 1,000 impressions, $10 or $100. It really depends on supply and demand and the quality of your traffic. If you have thousands of junk visitors coming through and leaving your site and not interested, but they're just you just have a really busy site, the traffic wouldn't be as targeted. But if you have just a smaller group of very targeted traffic, it might be more valuable to someone, and they'd be willing to pay more money. So you can put how many impressions. Usually people buy them in lots of 1,000. So total amount you need to pay, so $50 for 1,000 impressions, which is a pretty high rate. I mean, it's not the lowest, it's not the highest. It's somewhere it would probably be on the high end. But you can compare other websites and how much they're charging for 1,000 impressions. Now they can pay by check, PayPal, or purchase order. You can get rid of the check and the purchase order if you wanted to, and just allow PayPal. Okay. So it's going to allow me to review my ad. Impressions, 1,000 clicks, $50. There's no coupons. I don't have a coupon. So I'm going to have to pay $50, and my payment gateway is PayPal. So I'm clicking Buy Now, and there's a Pay Now button. I probably also got an email, so if I didn't pay now, then I could probably pay later. However, if I wanted to pay now, I just click on Pay Now, and that is going to take me over to PayPal most likely. So, yep, here we are, PayPal. I recommend adding your logo to your PayPal account. You can do that through your business account. Just there's a place to upload a logo, and that'll look nice if you add that here. But you don't have to. It's not that important. So this is what it would look like if I were to log back in later on and look at my ads. I can see that I have one ad. I can see that I've got no credits, no impressions available, or clicks available. And that I'm waiting to be approved. Okay, so I had canceled this order, so there's a little clock icon, and that means it's pending. Once it's confirmed, there'll be a check mark here, and if it was rejected, there would be an X there. So when I did this ad, I had created my own username, and a password was emailed to me, so I can always log back in and manage my ads from the front end. Now let's take a look at the back end for the I basically just showed you how a user would upload ads and pay for ads. So now let's take a look at the back end. When you first log into your Joomla website, I'm just refreshing this page. You're gonna get to the control panel. So I have emailed you a username and a password to log into the back end of your website, and you'll see this page. Most of this stuff, you're not going to touch it. You really don't need to redesign or edit your entire site. I'll show you just where you need to go to manage your banners. You'll go to Components and Social Ads component that we added, and you can click on any of these: Settings, Manage Ads, Add Orders, and Manage Zones. As the administrator, you would also log into the front end and put your ads in just like a regular user would. You'd put them in through here. There's a few things you can do from the back end, but if you wanted to, let's say, put up your own banners for free, you can just log in as the administrator from the front end and do that from there. I've already done the settings for you, but if you want to adjust these settings, you can. I'm just going to set it to where they can pay by check or PayPal. And basically, this software doesn't have Payza or Solid Trust, but if they needed to do that, they could pay by check, and then on the checkout instructions, we could add specific instructions how to pay using those other methods. And then once the money arrived into your account, you could come back here and initiate those ads and make them active. So let's go to Manage Ads. So we can see as the administrator, I've posted several alternative ads. Those are ads I also published them from the front end of the site, just like I did that last example. But instead, I was logged in as the administrator, and the administrator has a special option to add alternative ads. And alternative ads are basically ads that show up when there are no other ads to display. So I have I have also did another test here. I could delete these two users' ads because those are just test ads that I did. Okay, and now I just did this last one under username test10, and I ordered the impressions, and but I didn't make the payment. So let's say I had paid through PayPal or Payza, then I'd have to come in and mark this here. So there's a difference between confirming an order, and under add orders and managing ads. This is the payment, I mean. So here, under the orders, what you would do is, the first thing you'll do is you'll go confirmed. You've confirmed the payment, you've received it. Maybe they didn't pay by PayPal, because if they did, it would be instantly confirmed. But maybe they paid through Payza or Solid Trust. Then you would just mark it confirmed underneath add orders once you've received the money. But you could still manage the ads, and even though you've confirmed you've received the money, you might reject the ad itself if it doesn't qualify to be on your site. Maybe the material is inappropriate or something like that, or the ad just doesn't look good. So you could always reject the ad itself, and they could come in and make the corrections that they need to. Once you've this is the approval status here, and you can mark that completed, and then now it's approved. So if I were to log back into the front of the site here and refresh, I can see that the payment's been received and that it's been approved. And this ignores, you might wonder what that is. Basically, if people are logged in, they could ignore an ad if they're registered members, but I believe I've turned that function off, so this is sort of irrelevant. I really don't want people, even if they are registered, clicking on ads to ignore them. So this is sort of going to be irrelevant. People wouldn't be able to really ignore right now unless we change that setting later. So I'm not sure. Let me pause this. Okay, so we want, technically you would probably want to preview the ad before you approve it. So you could click here and just see what image did they upload. That looks good. Go ahead and mark it completed or reject it. So you can preview the ad here. It looks 728. So you might even be able to edit the ad and upload the image for them here, I think, if they emailed you the image or they had trouble uploading the image, you could fix their ad for them or change the link for them or something like that. Okay, so that would you would just click on the ad and you can modify their ad. You can preview it and you can mark it approved. That's all done under Manage Ads. So out of all of these things here, the only things that you'll probably really be dealing with are the orders. The first thing you'll do is once you receive, and this is strictly dealing with the money, you'll mark it confirmed. Once it's confirmed, there'll be that little box there. That you can't really do anything after you've marked it confirmed. There's no way to edit these or anything like that. It's strictly going to say pending until you mark it confirmed, and once you've done that, it's done. You can export these results, however, and then you have the manage ads. The manage zones is basically when I set up the site, I created different options for the people to advertise with here, and then in the module manager I created those. I sort of created those locations that will coincide with these zones. Um, I'm not going to get into that though, because I don't think you're going to be needing any new zones, and if you do, you should probably just have me do it if you need more advertising. Obviously, if you look at the front of your site, you really don't want too many ad zones, because then it becomes a little bit too much. There's too much advertising eventually, and you might not want that. However, you do have room for more advertising zones. Even right here on the front page, you have this little area that we could put more advertising there. Okay, I'm just going to show you this quickly, although it's not something that you'll probably be editing. Underneath your extensions, modules, if I sort by the type, social ads, I can see the zones in the form of modules here. These are the same zones that you can choose from in the when you're advertising, whether it's the bottom, the right side top, or right side bottom, or the top leaderboard. When you open that up, you can choose what pages do you want those to show up on. So for the most part, I want them on all the directory categories, and there's certain pages that I don't want them on because it just sort of gets in the way. So we wouldn't want the ads on every single page on the site, like the contact page and stuff like that. But most of these pages we do have the ads on. So from the front end, if I were right here, you don't see them, but I just added them, so you'd see them even on the individual directory categories. We could see the advertisements there. So even in this, with one list, we could add one more box here, and we'd have room. Obviously, on the bigger categories, that might be a very long page, and so on a long page, you could have a lot more ads there. But the problem with that is that on the shorter pages, you'd end up having a lot of white space here in the main content area rather than on the side. So you want to be careful how you balance that out. All right, moving on to the next. So just as a quick review with your components, social ads, click on add orders. Here you're going to mark them confirmed once you've got pending payments, if you have any pending payments. And here you'll preview, approve the ads, and even edit them if you want to. So, and those are basically the only two things you're doing: components, social ads, the orders. Mark whether you received the money or not, and then under manage ads, approve them or not. So I think all of the ads that they need to be manually approved right now. You could auto approve them, but it just doesn't seem smart to do that, because you sort of want to be careful what's on your site. So by default, I've disabled the auto approval method, and you're going to need to manually approve them. In any manual payments, you'll need to mark that. The PayPal payments under the orders will automatically be marked as paid, so you won't need to do anything there. But you'll still need to approve them even if they pay by PayPal. Okay, if you have any other questions about this piece of software, you can email me. I've also already emailed you the documentation link where you can read about all the features and in-depth details about this software if there's more you want to do with it. But for now, I think you have the main functionality already installed and set up the correct way. The next software that you have on your website is the directory, and which we're looking at right here. If you click on directory, it's sort of like a Craigslist type classified listings software, and I believe I could probably just let's just go through it and see how that works as a user. I'm going to select a category, let's say services, and I'm going to mark it other services. Okay, and then that's going to refresh, and it's going to put up the proper different categories might have different options because they're just different types of ads. Like real estate might have different questions than, for example, a service might. So it autofilled this information because I have probably autofill enabled on my browser, but it wouldn't do that necessarily for everybody. Okay, so I'll enter my phone number 407-243-8028 and my address 205 Rona Lane, Davenport, and then the state Florida 33897, website design in Orlando, Florida. Okay, and then I can just type in my ad description here. I do professional website design. Okay, and I could the images here. So right here you can drag and drop images to upload. So this is the text area. We're not allowing image upload in here. Even if the editor has a button, it's just not going to work. But they can do other things like bold their text, underline it, and add colors to it if they wanted to. So they can make their text a little bit creative if they want to. And there's probably other HTML things that they could do. And if they were to render an image from an external website, they could probably embed it here as well. So you really don't need to have any special skill just to type in your text here, though, and that's the only thing that people really need to be doing there. They could get really creative, though, if they wanted to. So I could just put a price, $99, delivery type. It's not for pickup or selling. It's just a service that I'm offering. I'll put in my website, http www.websiteislands.com. I could put in a video link here from like YouTube. It says YouTube video, not the embed code. So you want to add the URL of the YouTube video, not the embed code. So if I had a URL video that I wanted to add here, I could. It would work. Okay, so you can click here and add images. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I've selected a few images to be uploaded, and once I save this, they should be uploaded. Please, so I'm going to enter this security code. This is to help avoid spammers. AYJG, and I'm going to save this. Congratulations, your ad has been posted. Most of these categories, they don't require any form of payment, so the ads are just automatically going to be posted. We can see the ad. The first image that I uploaded was the image that's being displayed in the little preview box. There's a little new icon because it's new, and this is free for I think it's going to be posted for like 7 days or something like that by default. And let's see. Website design in Orlando, Florida. There's my 3 images. I do professional website design. There's the description, the price, it's a service, and my address. So they can email me from here. They can click on my website from here. They can email it to a friend from here. If someone posted an inappropriate ad, they could just click here, and the administrator is going to get that email notification. People can subscribe to ads that I posted. You can see my username test10 because I automatically created a username with the other advertisement. I'm still logged in. It remembers who I was. So I could also log out and then log back in as test10 and edit this ad or delete it if I wanted to. And so I can just go back right in and upload more images. By default they can add up to 8 images in this category for free. You could always increase that. So if you want to charge for anything, you can charge to have you could charge $10 if they want to list their website and get a link. You could charge them money to be here in the description. You could charge them money for adding more than one image. Charge them $1 for each additional image. And then so I think as an example, I try a different category. Let me pause it while I do that. Okay, here's a paid category. So anything underneath the category vehicles, which is also a very popular category, if people want to, like auto dealers or somebody like that wants to post ads. So for 7 days it's free. For 14 days it's $2. For 30 days it's $3.50. You can change any of this. You can change the pricing. For every single category, you can designate different prices in different terms. Terms meaning time, amount of days. So so let's just say we'll do the 7 days for free, and if you want to be in the featured ads, that's the scrolling box on the front of your website. They would pay more money for that as well to be in there. So if you want to allow different categories to have featured ads, you could allow that, and you can decide how much it is. And then they would just enter that, and then when it comes time to pay, you can see they can check out with PayPal, or they can even subscribe and just pay $2 every 7 days and continually be in the featured ad. And if they click on other payment method, here's where we will put instructions, and we could send them an email with instructions on how to make that payment. Okay, so you can also charge for images. In this example, for the auto listing, we allow 1 free image, and we allow them up to 3 paid images, and each image would be $5. So if they were to add 3 more images, that cost would increase an additional $15. Let's take a look at the back end of this software. So we would go to Components, and then to Classified Redux, and we could see here lots of different settings, and you can scroll through all these settings if you want to see specific things, and if you have any question. But for the most part, I've set it up with most categories being free, and allowing a certain amount of images, and you can go through each one and look at that here too, though. So these are general configuration. This is general setup. You wouldn't normally touch any of this. So that's all configuration. You don't really need to configure it unless there's something that you want to change. We can look at the category list here, and it's very easy to create another category. So here you can see all of your categories. You can display all of them at once if you want to. Just click on Display All, and you can see all of the categories and subcategories. So if we wanted to add a new service category, we could just click on New and add the service called Web Design. Web Design, Web Hosting, Web Design, Web Hosting. How about Web Related Design, Hosting, Other Services. Okay, so that would go in the, we wouldn't put it under the root, we want to put it under services. So it's going to be a sub-menu of the services menu. If we wanted to put a picture or an icon, we could. Some of your categories have icons, you'll notice, on the front end. Some of them don't. We could add a description, although we don't need to. And we can restrict the category to certain people, or we can just allow anyone to publish. We can allow anyone to view it and anyone to post, basically. We can set the max free images here, like 5 free images, no paid images, no paid images cost. We could set durations. If we wanted to charge money for the advertisement, we could say, okay, 7 days. We want that to cost $2. Duration 2 would be 15 days, and we want that to be $3. Duration 3 could be 30 days, and we want that to be $4. Okay, so you can do a lot of durations there. And if you wanted to offer them featured ads, you could put 7 days, $0. You could put 15 days, $2, or whatever you want. So you could charge different. If you don't put anything here, then they're not going to be allowed to post featured ads, but you could still make them free for a certain amount of days if you wanted to. And those are the ads that are going to be on the front scrolling box on your website. Okay, so once we're done setting up those settings for the category, we can click Save. Now we can go back to the and refresh this and select Services. Hold on, we might need to refresh the browser there. Let me. Oh, maybe it's not published yet. 1 second. Okay. So here it is. It's not published, so we're going to click this to publish it. And we could just click on this if we wanted to edit it. And we're going to refresh now and select the category Services Web Design. We might want to put that and reorder it at the bottom, so we could just click on these. If we click on the arrows here, we could move it down one, for example. Now it's under childcare, Services Web Design, or we could just renumber it. If we wanted it at the very bottom, we could just number it 10, and then go up here and click the Save button, and that'll put it at the bottom, so that when I refresh this, we can see Services, select category, Services, Web. It's at the bottom. Okay. So here you'll see upload up to 5 free images. We don't have any paid images, so you don't see that there. And I must have did something wrong because I'm not seeing the. Let me pause that. This is interesting. If you're if you're not logged in and you try to post a free ad, it's going to tell you that you're able to post without logging in, but you'll be unable to modify or delete the ad, register for an account, and log in for full functionality. So they'd have to come up here and register. And we could even change that too. We could make it so that they can't post an ad without logging in first. Or registering first as well if we wanted to. Although for now I'm just allowing that to encourage people to post in the directory. Okay, I figured out the problem why my because I had previously added some payments for web services and hosting category, but nothing was showing up. And what I just discovered was that you'll first need to, and it doesn't really matter what you add there, you need underneath the main services tab, you'll have to offer some sort of payments here. You can override that with the individual category by clicking the individual category. So you just have to add something besides zeros there. And I'm just going to do a quick check. If I change it to let's say veterinarian animal. Okay, what it does is it puts the default services price now, whereas if I put web related and hosting, since I added specific costs there that are different, those costs show up. So you can also you don't have to, if you want all of the services to be a specific price, you don't have to add anything specifically in any of these categories. You can just update, like let's say you want them all to be free. You can just update this and make them all free, which is what I'm going to do. So everything in that category will be free, even if you overrided it. So basically, if you whatever you put here, that'll show up in the subcategories even if you don't edit those, unless you override the subcategories. The only difference is if you if you do want to charge something on, you'll have to enter something here for because you'll notice that now that I took everything off, if we go back to web hosting, design, and other, the charges have been gone. So I think at the very least, if you want to only charge for one individual subcategory on the root category, you'll have to at least put something, and I'm going to do a quick test. Let's say we wanted at least to put paid images in there. Now if we refresh, even though we only put paid images in the root category, we see that the individual options applied for the subcategory of web design and hosting, and I get the 5 paid images here. So if you go to any of the other services category, like elderly care, we never added anything specific to the root category or the subcategory, so there's no charges. Although that paid images, there's got to be some sort of paid images here, and the payment option is not going to show up for images unless you actually add those images. Whereas with the web related and hosting, they do get because there's a minimum fee even just to list the ad. So if you click on other payment method, the link's not going to work right now because this domain isn't live, but they can go on this link here. They're also going to be emailed that link. It's not clickable here, but it will be in the email where they can visit that. And that link's not going to work yet because your site's not live. But it's something like this. We can put anything we want on this page, like bank payment instructions, Payza, Solid Trust Pay, an address to send the check to. This is basically just an article on your site with a link to it. So if they decided to pay by PayPal, they can do that directly on the site. If not, and both the user and the administrator of the website will get an email notifying that the new ad's been placed, and the administrator can review it if they want. The good thing about these ads is you don't really need to review them. If you have a good user base, they can also flag the ad as inappropriate. Okay, so on the back end, the main things that you'll be doing here are adding new categories, and setting in the root category minimum prices for images and different durations and featured ads, and on the individual subcategories you might charge more or less, so you can also tweak the payment cost. If you don't want any payment cost, just don't do anything. Just keep everything 0 on the root and the subcategories, and it'll be free to post in those categories. So obviously you can make a lot of money by charging money to post ads in popular categories, or charging money for the pictures, or even the URLs. You can charge money for that, for those features. If you have any specific questions, go ahead and contact me if you have a specific question how to do something. I've also sent you a link for the documentation already. I think for the most part, you'll be getting emails whenever anybody post a new ad, so you can review them if you want. You can create your new categories here. The other thing is, if you want to manage the ads, let's say somebody like I did just now with the cars, I made a test. once you receive the payment, you'll have to manually go in and um, publish that. You can click on. I didn't actually add any information, so there's nothing to edit. But you can click in there and edit it. You can remove images or add images from the back end. You can delete the entire ad if you want. And by default, the system, I've set it up to where after 90 days, any ads that aren't being used and any images that aren't going to be used will just be deleted from the system. That way, the server doesn't get cluttered with unused advertisements and images. And there's settings, and I advise you just to go in and take a look around at everything, and just and look at the documentation to see what can be done. But mainly, if there's something that you don't like, just ask me and I'll let you know if it's possible and if I can change it. But for the most part, you wouldn't be touching any of these buttons. You'll just mostly be looking at the ads list and removing or editing ads if you need to, or once you receive a manual payment, you'll just go ahead and publish it, and then maybe adding more categories. So those two things are the main things that you'll be doing. So once again, you go to Components and Classified Redux. That's your classified directory, and those are your options there. And this is your banner management software. And those are really the only two things that you'll need to come in and edit on this site. If you have any other questions about the site or need something done, you can always contact me directly as well. Thanks for watching.